Hey, good evening and welcome to Normski TV. As you can see, I am not Normski. Sadly, Normski lost his father this week, and he's asked me to step in and just do the show for him this week with a couple of guests that we're gonna have on our usual crew and some familiar guests that are coming in. So our condolences go out to Norman and his siblings and the extended Johnson family in the loss of their father, grandfather, uncle, cousin. So in this time, just trying to support Norman. He insisted that we carry on with the show. So here we are discussing everything football and what's going on. We have our schedule. We're going to look at the Premier League reviews and player ratings. We're going to do Ref Watch. Our third one will be Arsenal showing the bounceability, or was that just luck? Our fourth one will be why is Todd showing so much faith in the manager? 2 wins in 15. And our fifth one, Liverpool, not for sale, maybe. And then what's going on, prediction league, game week 23. So, yeah, be lively in the chat. We're going to try and deliver what Norman would normally do. Yes, Scott. Yes, yeah. Send regards to Norman. Appreciate that, Scott. And I'm sure he will as well. So without further ado, we are going to bring the guys in that are in the back room. And we're going to get the show on the go. Hopefully, good to see you, my friend.
Yes, my guy, D.
Yeah.
It's sad time, and condolences to Norman and the whole family. We're in full support of everyone, and we keep them in our prayers.
Yeah, and appreciate that, Kofi. When you've loved a loved one, when you've lost a loved one, should I say, how difficult that can be, family dynamics and everything else. So yeah, man, we just keep looking out for Norms and checking in on him and praying for the family as they move through this process of laying their dad, Bishop Johnson, to rest. So we appreciate that. I just saw Anne in the chat. How you doing, Anne? Sorry for your loss. Us guys are with you, man, in prayer. Right, so it's me and you. Oh, no, here comes Ez. Good evening, Ez.
Yes, gents, can you hear me? Hi, everyone. How's everyone?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you, man. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to do the usual round the table. So since Kofi, you are here, Kofi. Just how's your week been, my brother?
Yeah, it's been blessed week. Apart from yesterday, feeling it still, man. It pains me that I was watching a humiliation. We were humiliated.
Ooh. Yeah, that was mad. I was on the road, so I was listening to the second half on the radio while I was on the road, and I was like, "What in the world is going on here?" Anfield as well. If you was away, you'd be like, "Okay, you know what? They went abroad. They got 2 goals, and then it went a little bit pear-shaped." But in your backyard,
and the thing is, in the first kind of 15 minutes, we were good, and we started with pace and putting Madrid's under pressure, and then the capitulation, man. I don't know what to say. I'm just like, yeah, no words.
Yeah,
no words.
No, I hear you. I hear you. We'll probably go back to that. You can break that down a bit later on. But Ez, how's your week been, and how are you, my friend?
Yes, people. You know what? Tough time. Obviously, extended part of Norm's family, so a tough time, tough week. Yes, Jay. Nice to see you.
Hey, family.
Yeah,
Hey, guys. Hey guys.
Yeah, but tough last couple of weeks, to be honest. That's what I was on the show last week. Similar reasons, but just praying up for Norms, praying up for my wife, who is her granddad.
That's right. Yeah.
So, yeah, man. And Anne, I hear you in the chat. I see you in the chat. I was with Anne yesterday. Actually, we was chopping up some memories of legendary Eldemaya Johnson. So, So yeah, no, but apart from that, giving thanks, we're here to tell the tales and the story. So, but I mean, also, Chelsea haven't made times easier because when we're losing to Southampton, I was talking to Norms yesterday. Chelsea losing to Southampton and all them sort of things ain't running, making my time much easier, man. But we'll break that,
bro.
I'm sure we'll break that down later. But I'm in a similar boat to Kofi when it comes to football.
Yeah. Listen, Craig in the chat. Condolences go out to Norm and his family. Yeah, and I appreciate that, Craig. Sure you gonna watch the big up yourself as well.
Yeah, man.
Jason P, good to have you, sir.
Hey,
how's your week been?
Listen, man, I just want to offer some condolences to Norman and the family and everyone. I think all of us here knows Norman's dad well.
Yeah,
he's a great man. One of those people that I can't think of anything negative when he comes into our mind. He was a lovely guy. So yeah, prayers go out to the family, condolences to them all. But yeah, no, week's been good, man. I can't complain. It's been as a Manchester United fan, it's good times. It feels good. There's a nice feel in the air. The air smells sweet.
It smells clean for a change. Say clean, Jason. That clean air.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. And every now and then you hear a little story that the Glazers want to keep the club, and you start to think,
You remember I told you that, Jay?
Yeah.
These guys really don't want to sell. They really don't, but we'll see. We will see. Just quickly going back to Norman's father. He could have been my father-in-law's brother. The height, the mannerisms, everything. Every time I saw him, I said, "You remember my father-in-law?" And he said, "I don't think I ever met him." I said, "You probably bumped into him in the convention and probably looked at each other sideways, going, 'Do I know you?'" But yeah, a cool guy. Always a friendly chat. Always a friendly greeting. So yeah, man, may he definitely rest up in peace and take his rest. So yeah, we are gonna move on. We have our game week. Well, it would have been game week 24, right? So no, February. There we go. So we are gonna go back to who's up first. We're gonna go to you, Ez, at the bridge, Southampton.
Hit me.
My Lord. Talk to me, bro.
This should be fun.
Talk to me.
I mean, I don't really have I've tried to give people the short answer many times, yeah. But there's almost no point me coming on this show week after week, yeah, trying to break down what Chelsea's results were when I've got a manager that's tactically inept, out of his depth, and doesn't actually know what he's doing. He doesn't. And I can tell you this, yeah. I think even at Brighton, I don't think he was under half the pressure to succeed. Therefore, if we go out and win on Sunday, Saturday, whenever they play, it's great. If we don't win, well, we go next week. Chelsea, where you're expected to win almost every match, same at Man United, same at Arsenal, Liverpool. Potter's not used to that sort of pressure. And he's fluffing his lines against everyone right now. He's fluffing his lines. Chelsea's second and third team should beat Southampton. So injuries are not an excuse.
Right.
Yes, he's got loads of new signings. He had plenty of players that are available before those new signings. So if you're not trusting your new signings yet, use the people you do trust. Look, there's too many ways we could look at this, and not to score or to put a glove on Southampton at home. There's no point in me coming here talking when I've got a PE substitute teacher in charge of my club right now. You know, listen, I can't. Listen, when he first got put in position, I was optimistic. I said, maybe the board knows something I don't know. I'll give him time.
Yeah.
I don't know what much more I can wait to see because I can't see a style of play. I can't see an ethos. I can't see him shouting instructions on the sideline as if it's all going wrong and he's trying to fix it. I don't see anything. So unless anyone else has got anything else to ask me, now I've done that. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. Yes, no.
I have a quick. Yes, Normski. Make yourself, my brethren.
I saw Jason put up his hand sort of as well.
Yeah, I did.
Go for it, man.
Do you know what it was, Ez? I hear your pain. I can hear the pain in your voice. But I'm just trying to work out what are your options in the sense that, like, because I thought he was getting a little bit better in the sense of I could actually see the play a bit. You know, you just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net, but he was actually creating chances. You looked a bit more attacking, and I wonder. What are your options in the sense that you've bought into this long-term project where you're saying we're going to buy all these young players, we're going to get this young manager to grow with these young players. So do you pull the plug on that this soon, or do you try and give it more time?
You kill it before it lays eggs. And I'm telling you, this is Jay. You know what? Let's use a template of what they're trying to do. Let's use Arteta. Yeah, Arteta. Although he wasn't getting results from day one, week one, match one, I could see what the man was trying to do. You know, I didn't need to be some football genius to sort of. I could see that actually he needs better quality players and some time to get this football going. With Potter, we've had something like 24 different lineups since he's been in charge. 24 different lineups. And yes, some of that is to do with injuries, but there's players that are in there that is questionable. It's so questionable. Not even that. Let's step up. I don't know what formation he plays more time. I don't know what system plays. Do you know what, Jason, when you're talking about there's matches where we couldn't put the ball in it or we look a bit better, all he's done is drop João Felix in it. And João Felix plays free. You know, and I feel we look better with João Felix on the pitch. I don't think that's a big tactical genius. I think that there's a player that can create something out of nothing, good movements, good touches, and he looks brilliant. And he makes us get off our feet a little bit more than watching Conor Gallagher run around. And I'm not holding back because I've watched every single match this season, and I'm at the point that I'm not watching Tottenham on Sunday. I'm not watching them. Well, I can't bear it if we lose to Chile. If we lose to Chile, that's it. I think that's me taking a break.
Through thick and thin. Just what?
I'm not saying I don't support my team, but I can't watch when a manager doesn't know what he's doing. I've never had to go through that. I'm not going to start now. Listen, Jay, I would even say Ollie knew a bit more. Ollie was basic. No, he was basic. No. You lot, listen to me carefully. Ollie was basic, yeah. Ollie was very basic with counter-attack football, and when that didn't work,
that's all he had. That's right.
At least I could see that much. At least I could see that much.
I understand that. Yeah.
But my man turned Old Trafford into a counter-attacking place to go and play football. We played like that home and away.
But if you can get 17 goals out of Anthony Martial, and don't get me wrong, I ain't seen the man since. But if he goes out, you know, I've got to give Ollie his little 50 pence. You know what I mean? I haven't seen one player improve under Potter, not one. And I'm not saying there's been a lot of time, but I'm seeing players go backwards. Does Sterling look like half the player he was at City? No, he ain't changed leagues. You know what I mean?
You have to remember with Sterling though, Sterling is a system player, and if there's no system at Chelsea, he's lost.
Hear that? But then what does a coach do? Create a system where a player that was close to world class, I would say he was very close to world class, Sterling. You know, at City, he's got 150 goals in his armory, and he's only 27, 28. You know, in the Premier League, that player goes missing, You have to question. Sterling don't look like half the player. Mason Mount don't look like half the player. We've signed this Mudryk guy who looked amazing where he was. He don't look like half the player that we signed. Fair enough, he ain't played in the Premier League. You can leave that one. But then Aubameyang, Havertz, all these guys have gone in themselves. And some of
Here's
that
the thought is, either Scott or Craig put this in the chat earlier. He was saying that basically Todd has bought that many players that maybe he's throwing him under the bus because he's never been used to a squad this big. Not at Brighton. No. And I remember last week's commentary, they were saying he hasn't picked the same team twice all season. That tells you it's a madness. Apart from the goalkeeper, the outfield players, he hasn't picked the same outfield players not one single time.
But he signed up for this. When Todd brought him in, Todd said to him, I'm signing a whole recruitment system. He's got a new technical director. He's got a new sporting director, new head of recruitment. And he said, and Potter's thing was, a lot of these players ain't my players. Can you refresh the squad? You know,
right.
Can you? Yeah. And so Potter knew what he was signing up for.
And he took the money.
Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't?
And that's the thing. And I feel like, as much as Potter signed up for this, he also needed to say that he's going to manage it his way. He's not under pressure to play these players straight away. But you can't sell the dream and then moan when it's not working. I think it's down to his management style. Actually, hold on a minute. Yeah, sign all these players, but we're gonna ease them in. We're gonna spend a lot of time to work out how to play football. There was a stage, Jason, where we had 2 weeks with no games, and then we go and draw to Fulham. What? 2 weeks?
So,
2 weeks to work
on the training pitch. Exactly.
That's a long time. That's a long time in Premiership football.
Oh
2
my
weeks
Lord.
to work with a team with no. But you know what? I think Scott said that in the chat that Leeds United, and I think that's probably about his level. I think he's right in the sense that you know, a team with not great expectations, but it's like being in a job where you know in that particular role you're doing a really good job, but somebody offers you this role and you're thinking, well, can I actually do that job? But they start dangling pound notes in your face. And in the world of football, you start dangling pound notes. I know that you got to pay me up. Right. And the way this is like an old boy, this is an old boys club, so I might not get another Chelsea job if you sack me, but I'm going to get the paid out for my 6-year contract, however long it is they signed him for. Then I'm going to get another job in another Premier League club. It just won't be like the top 6 teams or something like that.
What makes the bullet harder to bite is coming from Tuchel, who did nothing wrong on the football pitch. I think he done things wrong in terms of the relationship with the board and what their vision was, and the two worlds didn't match up. But on the football pitch, he did nothing wrong. And for me, we're paying managers to do the job of what's on the football pitch, the training ground. And that's literally what Tuchel asked. Look, I don't want to get involved in your multi-club model and your whatever you're planning to do. I just want to be in the training ground and win games.
But do you think though that this regime needs a yes man? And Tuchel's anything but a yes man, right? He's not going to just. And it sounds like this model they want to sign the players, they want to decide who they want to sign, and they want to give it to you. That American model, isn't it? We get all these players in, and your job is just to coach them up.
I understand the model, because the model of them bringing in players that match the ethos of the club rather than buying players for managers is a sustainable model. However, you have to have the right manager that feels like he can work with most players rather than a Mourinho that is like, I need this player. Or I think Ten Hag is like a guy that you give him anything, he'll work with it. Don't get me wrong, he has what he wants and he has his list, his shopping list. But until you give me the shopping list, I'll work with anyone. That's what he was like before you brought in, you know, anyone big. He was, and look, he's getting a tune out of Wan-Bissaka. He's getting a tune out of, you know, some of the players that we thought were done. You know,
people like Luke Shaw playing 2 positions.
This is it. He will continue to do that until the people pay up to go and get you Frankie de Jongs or the equivalent of, and so on and so on. You know, I think Ten Hag is that type of guy. Fine, you get me my players. If not, we'll work with what we have. We'll still get on with it. I saw you score a goal the other day. Rashford scored a goal, and Ten Hag, he kind of looked at the goal and he's like, "Cool, great, it's in. Here's the instructions. Here's what we're doing next." Honestly, he didn't even go. He was just like, "Cool, in, good, boom, all right." And that's the kind of. I'm not saying every coach has to be like that, but he has something about him that says he's just so on. He's planned the job, the ethos. He's even the way he dealt with Ronaldo. It's look, I've got one of the greatest players, but he's gonna sit on the bench because he's not doing what I want him to do. And Potter, my God, I just can't see the same element of that.
Just what you have to wonder now is that whether he's been given assurances that he is going to get to the summer, and they are going to give him till Christmas. Because if you're thinking of John Top like that, and there's no hint of the acts, you have to wonder what he's been told. So listen, we're going to get these players in the summer. You've got to prove to me that you can get your best 11, you can pick your best 6 off the bench, and we start doing what we got to do. So that's my thing. I'm wondering that.
I feel like they never expected fireworks. We was never going to win the league this season, obviously. Anything else, or I don't think even Europe was necessarily the target. But surely being 9 points.
Sorry, Scott's that's jokes here, boy. That's funny, man.
Scott's on fire today. But surely being 10 points off the bottom. Surely being 10 points off the bottom of the table is concerning. That is concerning. And I don't know what Chelsea's plan is, but I don't think these billionaires will sit and wait till we're in a relegation battle before they make a call on Park.
Do you think that Mourinho would be a good replacement?
Right, I think you bring him back. I think you would. Let me tell you why. He's not as ancient dinosaur as people think. I think watching that the documentary when he was at Tottenham, that he actually done a madness at Tottenham. Considering what he worked with at Man United to win you 3 cups. Yeah, let's not use the Community Shield, but the other 2, man got you. He done well to come second in under them circumstances,
and he still brags about it. He still brags about it. You know what I mean?
To be honest, he talks about it as his biggest achievement. Chris Smalling and all of them man there, as you man know. But hear this though, I think he's the type to tell these man a bit more about how to run the club. Don't forget, Jose was the one that advised Abramovich when he first came.
Yeah.
And Jose was able to say, look, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but you're also not going to fully tell me what to do. You understand? We might fall out here, but hear me out. I'm going to do what I need to do to get these players working, and you just pay up.
But this doesn't sound like Jose. I don't know about Jose. Cause the thing about Jose is Jose needs a certain type of player. He needs his style of players, and if he can't, sorry,
the Jose of old was like that. But I feel
like how's Jose evolved?
I feel like at Tottenham he didn't demand a certain type of player. And he got them to a cup final, but they decided to sack him because he was controversial about the Super League thing that came out. And at Roma, he hasn't been like that because Roma can't give him the type of play. They ain't got that sort of money. So, and he's still won them a European trophy last year, and he's doing quite well over there now. I feel like Jose of old, when he was trying to prove a point, was like that. I
remember saying to Chile that I believe that they would have won that cup if they hadn't fired Jose before the cup final.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because he just knows how to set up to stop you from scoring, and then he's a master of the counter-attack thing, and he put a couple of pacey wingers on and came with a one, and then he probably would have just walked away anyway. Said, "Yeah, I just came here and won," and just walked away anyway. Got to Roma.
Didn't he lose the dressing room though?
No, he said something crazy about the Super Bowl. Remember, not the Super Bowl, the
Super League. Yeah.
And Levy didn't like it. Levy that's the only reason they sacked him before, because otherwise they probably would have let him play that final, see what happens, and then sack him. But they sacked him like 3 days before that final because they felt he overruled the ownership. But I mean, last thing on Jose, but now let's we move on to the club because this Chelsea thing is a bit annoying for me. Yeah. But with Jose, I think he's not the man for long term. But I think a lot of these young players, he will turn into mentality monsters. A lot of them are coming in and it's all playing the Premier League now. It's great. I'm on, I'm here. We've been brought in, but they haven't got the grit in their teeth. And one thing about Jose, I think he knows how to get under people's skin. And it goes one or the other way. It's either you hate him and you leave, or you want him to leave, or you actually become a bigger, thicker-skinned footballer. And the players that's worked for, probably mostly at Chelsea, the Drogbas, Lampards, Terrys, blah 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 blah. They vouch for it. They're for it. And I think that Chelsea's got a lot of babies at the moment. No, not a backbone, because none of them should be accepting losing to a 20th place team, shaking hands after the pitch, hugging each other, talking about going to restaurants after. What you doing? No. What? You just lost to 20th place, and they've knocked out your captain going in the process. Do you see Aspilicueta collapsed? No. I know football is not like that anymore, where it's all argy-bargy, but still have some pride about the circumstances. And I think Jose would have had these. And lastly, Potter gave these man 2 days off. 2 days off after Southampton game. 2 days off? No.
That's mad.
You need to cancel them days. Even if it was pre-planned, you have to cancel that. Even if these men are just coming in for a team meeting, you don't have to train. You have to do something.
Just watch some videos to see what you're doing wrong.
Something.
Sit down and watch some videos. Yeah.
Montclair events, chilling with Justin Bieber and all them things. You man just lost to Southampton. What's going on? What's going on? João Felix, we're paying 750 grand a week. He's out there taking pictures with his new Montclair coat. You're joking. Please. 2 days off after losing to Southampton. No. Anyway, my rants. Listen, guys, I can't.
I hear you. I'm just gonna Latoya in the chat. Big up yourself, Latoya. Thank you for the condolences. Root cause as well. Big up yourself, sir. Good to have you on board. As you can see, we're just steering the ship for Norman. In this time. In this season for him, so bless up, guys. Chile, Newcastle at home, bro. Listen to me. 2-0, Talk to me, man. Darwin, we trust. Come on, bro. No, sorry, coffee. Sorry, I'm saying Chile. Coffee.
Yeah. You
guys went to Newcastle and held it down.
Well, it was one of those games where first half we were doing things, and I was like, okay, so why haven't you been showing this like throughout the season? And second half was a little bit different. We were just the same Liverpool we've been playing this season, and Newcastle were having the better of us, and we just didn't look comfortable. And I think, man, it's just one of those stories of Liverpool, like when you've had a good season last season, and you should have won quadruple, but it didn't happen. And then now we've had the drop off, and it's showing throughout the whole team. Everybody's not on that level, and we just look like we could concede a lot of goals in games. I doubt we're probably going to get Champions League this season, but the race is on. And we've still got games in hand, but it's just one of those things that, we don't know which Liverpool team will turn up. And, the Liverpool...
Am I correct in saying that you have 2 games in hand over the guys in the top 4?
We got
2
Newcastle games in hand over Tottenham. We got...
And Newcastle.
Yeah,
Newcastle.
So
because I'm seeing how early you scored, and then obviously you're saying that the second half you went a little bit patient, but then they didn't score, and we saw last night how leaky you guys can be when it goes horribly wrong. So,
but I mean, Newcastle did put us under pressure second half, and even though they didn't score
with 10 men.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it was 10
men.
Yeah, it was 10 men. Yes.
Yeah.
Nick put up.
Yes. Yes. You guys were 10. Oh, you guys were 10 men from the 22nd minute, Bridget. Rah. That's mad.
And we panicked a little bit, and we needed to keep level-headed throughout. And Alisson again. How many times am I going to say he saved us? He saved us. But obviously yesterday, boy, it was one of those things.
You can't be too upset about yesterday, though.
No, you know what?
You can't be.
The issue is this, that I always knew that Madrid were always going to turn up. Regardless of what Madrid team plays, they're always going to turn up. And I was happy that we took a 2-0 lead, but it's Madrid. You got to be concentrated throughout the whole 90 minutes.
Yeah,
you're good because you're talking to the current holders of the Champions League. You know,
I know.
You have to respect the way Liverpool win this season. I think the fact that you scored 2 goals against them is your happy day. I think
but it's Anfield, you know. we do.
I'm about to say that. You have to remember when they walk down that tunnel and touch that sign, you know, this is Anfield. When you touch that sign, that's supposed to put something in you, you know, Bridget.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, right? You
can't be getting punked in your back like that.
No,
you know?
No. The truth is, if it was 3-2 or something, you could be all right. But 5, was it 5-2?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the issue is this, that after the first goal, I was like, okay, Madrid are here to come and do something. And I kind of thought that we're going to go back to the old way of what we've been doing this season, where things just capitulate, and it happened. And it was like that second goal, for example, who was at fault? You can say Besiktas, probably with his young, naive self, probably should have made that turn that he tried to do. Again, Gomez has been playing a lot in Liverpool defence. Why is he making that pass back to Alisson, knowing that Vinicius is right on him? And Alisson, again, kick it out into touch, man. You don't need to do stupidness.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And you know what it is, right? You know, with the goalkeepers, you actually have to blame Edison for this, right? Because everyone thinks they've got Edison feet, right? And so, there was a pressure of play out from the back. There was the game did, even that game did a week. A few times when I saw David Alaba just lump it up, I just said, thank God for that, bro. Because I don't want you trying to be Edison, because you're not Edison, brethren. And so, so when I see these goalkeepers have these howlers trying to beat a striker, and you're just like, what are you doing, brethren? Get it out of there.
There was 2 in that game. There was 2 in that game, though, because
tried something.
His one had me in stitches. He had me on my belly laughing when I saw that one.
Yeah, it was calamity both sides. But we move on from this one. We got second leg. Whether we do something, I don't know. But let's go back to Premier League. I'm hopeful we can win our games in hand, but still, it's still a few tough games. Crystal Palace this weekend. Boy, I don't know. We're again away, and after this Champions League defeat, our head's gonna be in focus, and we're gonna turn up and do something. But we'll see.
If it makes it a little bit better for you, Real Madrid have scored more goals in English soul this year than Chelsea.
Wow.
No. Take a sec. In one day that these men come to visit you, they've scored more goals than we have all year. We're at the end of Feb. We're the end of Feb. Okay.
Why? Yeah. But the thing is, like, when you play Real Madrid, you know that they've got so much experience. Modric, look at guys. Modric, they didn't have Cruz. Modric just running
the mix of both. They got the mix of both. They got, because Vinicius is still only 21, you know.
Yeah.
He's a handful.
He's a problem.
Yeah, he's a handful, man. Yeah, he's so quick on the ball. good with both feet. He's just like, yeah, man. Those kind of players terrify you. But this is the thing, Kofi. Come the weekend, you're gonna see if these guys have got the stomach for it, and how Klopp sets them up really, because I'm having this on the Fergie J, where we looked at the team and said this team should go out and deal with this European thing, and we lose, and it's how they bounce back at the weekend, and we never always bounce back at the weekend. You kind of just like you could tell that the players were just dwelling on it, and I think I think top 4 is still achievable for Liverpool. I wouldn't count them out. Yeah, I'm not.
It's there, but we have to have that mentality in second half of the seasons that we have had previously, and it's down to us just to grind out every game now, because we can't falter. There's still a lot of games to play, but I feel we can't falter. We got to have those consistency of runs to get us over the line, because I know Tottenham are always going to be firing. Newcastle might have probably a little bit of a run, even though they've had a little bit of a drop off. So yeah, who knows?
Who's your game in hands? Do you know, Kofi? Who your game in hands are? Those two. Could it would have been some cancellation somewhere down the line?
Yeah, from the cup, from a cup game.
Yeah, I'd have to check that.
Or the Queen. It could even be from the Queen. It could have been from the Queen.
Oh yes, I think one is from one is when the Queen died for sure. I think the other one. I think didn't you have a cup replay, Kofi?
Yeah,
I'm sure you guys
did.
had a cup replay, and I think that changed the midweek game for them, because they played a cup replay. I can't remember who it was though.
I think we would have played.
Was it Wolves?
Wolves, yeah. Yeah, definitely, yeah. So we got them home.
Okay.
Coming games. Yeah.
Yeah, they're playing okay at the moment. Wolves actually scoring goals, which is a bit of a mad one, because that's one thing they couldn't do was score goals. But recent times they've kind of found some shooting boots in training or whatever,
Yeah, but you know what? Gomez got a lot of stick yesterday, and I don't know, man. It's just everybody else seems to be dropping off, and you can't just
Gomez,
you can't just
put it on everywhere, but defense. And the thing is, you got Matip on the bench.
Matip is there. Yeah, you can't just put it on
I don't
Gomez.
get why it's not. Gomez is not it for me. I think Matip with Van Dijk is a better option, and he's not doing it for whatever reason.
Some of the defending though yesterday was atrocious.
Yeah,
I think it was BT Sport.
Did
you see BT Sport when they broke down that free kick? And the Liverpool back line stood in a straight line.
Straight line, yeah.
Right. Oh. Nobody moved when the ball moved. Everyone just stood there in a straight line, and it was
too easy.
It was so simple for Real Madrid yesterday.
Listen, big yourself, Jay. I see Jay in the chat just coming strong with them comments. Condolences to you as well, Jay.
They can't support you. Nah, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, we move on from it.
So we are going to go on to
Villa.
We are going to go on to Southampton. Your game's in hand. We're going to go on to Sunday the 19th. I'm going to give this one to you. Old Trafford, Man United, Leicester, 3-0. Man United. The scoreline flattered us, did it? A little bit.
Did. In the end, just because of the way the first half went.
Yeah,
the first half,
shocking.
the way we wasn't very good in the first. We haven't been good in first half in the last. So David De Gea just stepped up, made some great saves. Our midfield was all over the place, I thought, in the first half. But he made some tweaks. We went in 1-0 up. We went in 1-0 up from just great play again by Rashford. And the second half, it was a different game. I mean, we were a different team. It was a walk in the park. We controlled the game. We controlled the tempo of the game. Jadon Sancho coming on, he played amazing when he came on.
Yeah. You saw the smile on his face, Jay.
Yeah, that's right.
It's almost like
good coaching.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And the thing is, he took him out of the firing line. There's people saying, why would he do that? And I said, and maybe we should have done that to Jesse. Jesse was crying out that everything around him was scrambling and nobody really kind of believed him. My guy said, listen, I'm getting you out there. I'm sending you to some people who are my people. They're going to get you straight and then they're going to send you home. So he didn't even let him stay in England. He got him out of there. And that just tells you what this man's trying to do with this squad. Because he sees talent. Yeah, he sees the talent and he's like, nah, I can't let this guy go down the road and then we have a Mason Greenwood situation on our hands or whatever. He just packed his bags and said, right, you're off. And then when these guys tell me you're good, then they'll send you home. And you've got to remind that, and probably this is his frustration where you want a man that is so single-minded in his way of managing that it's like, nah. When I see something, I'm going to react to what I see. And I've seen it 2 or 3 games now. And I'm saying, I'm going to get this kid out of here because the Old Trafford crowd is brutal. You're not playing well. I've been there and I've seen man get destroyed. And I say, lad, come on, man. He's one of our own, as the fans always sing. Why are you doing him like that? Because you can tell his head's scrambled. We did it to Rashford last year. When Rashford was out with a stinker, Mans was crucified him in the stands.
And still playing him. And still playing him. He had to play through injury and everything.
Yeah, and these are the things, playing your big players in injury. I said to my brother yesterday, he's a Man United fan, he's in West London, and I said, we got to wrap Rashford in cotton wool, I wouldn't make him train, Jason. Just go and ride that speed bike. I don't want you on the pitch. I don't want a bad tackle. I don't want no one doing your ankles. Because they do this in the American sports, They just say, they call it load management. And I just say, listen, these 2 games you ain't playing, I know you're a top scorer, but we're trying to get to the playoffs here. And for me, I'm not having Rashford playing no 6-a-side, 5-a-side, nothing. You're just going to come into a bit of gym work. You're going to get your massages. You're going to watch some film. And you can be on that speed bike just to get your legs going. Because we are so heavily reliant on Rashford that this brother can't get injured for me. I'll be crying if this man gets injured.
They have to treat him in training like they treat the quarterback in American football, mate. No one can touch him. No one can touch that guy. You touch that guy in training, everyone goes mad. If you touch the quarterback. But and everyone's getting a 6-mile run for a bad tackle on Rashford in training. You know what? So, and I have to agree with Jason. The first time I thought we were shocking. And you could see Ten Hag on the touchline losing his mind because what he's saying is they're not listening to the instructions. And it's like, we spoke about this, we trained this, and you go out there and you're doing that. And you see, when he put Wenger's in the 10, I was like, what's he doing here? He put Bruno out wide because he's saying, right, Bruno's giving the ball away too much. He ain't going to give the ball away if he's out wide. He stuck him out wide. And then I saw some magic and I said, this brother is a magician because I probably would have told you Weghorst, but he didn't. He left him on in the 10 and I just thought, okay. What do you think of him, D? What do you think of him, D? Weghorst?
He's got some shooting boots. The chances he missed were criminal. But I think he brings an element. He's a sport player. Let's not get that. You know what I mean? But when I saw him in the 10 and what he did, he became a problem for them.
Yeah.
And so I said maybe he's a 10, not a 9, but he missed some headers. He missed 2 what I call sitters, where one is at a stretch, the other one he's got to put it in. He's leaned back and he's over the bar. But you have to remember, Jason, we had no money. So when you got no money and you can get striker in because we're getting no change out of Martial. I think as mentioned Martial the other day with that one good season under Ollie. He had a good season under Ollie, a decent season under Louis van Gaal. After that, he's been a ghost, really, hasn't he? But yeah, you know what? I saw in the chat where I might be crazy saying, "Oh, Man United got me in a talk race." Everyone's trying to banter us, right? But this is a big week for us, guys. Barca comes tomorrow, and boy, we can't do Liverpool. Sorry, Kofi, but we can't do Liverpool, man. These Spanish teams like to come on our soil and try and big them chests, and I think
don't worry, you guys will be all right, man. You guys will handle it.
I'm praying. I don't want no nightmare at Old Trafford. It needs to be the theatre of dreams. I need to wake up the morning after and say, "Yeah," because I think we've done well. We should have won in Barcelona, and that might be me having too much chest. But I thought we didn't.
No, we should have won. We should have won.
Yeah. So this return leg, I'm not going to say it scares me. It just has me like, these guys cannot go back to type. Listen to your manager and just do what he tells you. Don't try and do anything extraordinary. And with the goalkeeper, if you're not sure, get the hell out of there. Because he can kick clear of the halfway line with ease. So just get it up there, take the pressure out, and we can capture a press or whatever. And so, yeah, I'm looking at that one, Jason. And then the cup final. I'm looking forward to the cup final. I actually think we can do this, Jay. And for him to come in and like, these guys will tell you, I said I'd take a cup final and maybe 5th or 6th, get back into Europa League again. But I think he's overachieving. So I'm being greedy now. I'm being greedy. You know what? I want it all.
We're in the positions now, you see. So
yeah.
Look, he's done a great job. I mean, tomorrow's game is a big game for us.
Yeah,
I think as I'm nervous because obviously you're playing Barcelona, etc. Yeah. But I don't feel as scared as like going into games now. Obviously, I'm still nervous about games, etc. But I don't feel as I used to go into games. I was petrified. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know. Yeah. You know what were we going to do on the pitch? At least I know. It is, isn't it? Because at least I know that we'll turn up, right? And then obviously there's times where you don't play well. It sort of patches in a game, but the guy can tweak things and he can get a response out of these players, and so it makes you feel a bit better as a fan. So I'm looking forward to
the best thing though, it's unrealistic for any football fan to go out and win every single game. In fact, I think football would be boring if you did. Imagine you went 10 games unbeaten. It's like but it's about the roller coaster, isn't it? Yeah. But the minimum you must see week in, week out, that 90 minutes is something you could say, all right, the boys did what they needed to do. Lucky, bad result. But it's the worst. It's the worst thing to see your team mess about week in, week out. And I think you went through a bit like that with Ralph. Ralph didn't have a clue. He didn't have a clue. Ralph was just there to fill the gap and he didn't really care. I mean, I think he made some good observations because that was his job anyway.
Because that's what he's good at. You're right. Yeah. That's what he's good at. He's not a football manager.
No. and that's he said something.
And I think, and I think after you, Jason, that they should have just given him, they should have just brought him in to be a director of football. And found somebody else. Not giving the team, because that team knew they didn't have to play for their new contracts on the round.
No, that's right.
He was out of there.
I would argue that I think it would have worked well if you had tied him down before you brought in Ten Hag, and then Ten Hag would be very clear about what this guy's position would be, compared to the guy that's managed the team before, that's not maybe going to tell you, I've done it, so I know this and I know that. You know, I think that was Hag's problem, that he didn't want to be spoken to by somebody that's been in the same role as him, now going to try and give him advice on how he needs to run the shop. Compared to, you know, and I think he made some good observations. One of them that I remember is that he said something wild, like Man United need 9 or 10 players. I think you remember this, Steve.
Yeah, he was correct.
And he was right.
Correct, though. Yeah.
And I think that's you got rid of a lot of deadwood in the summer. I think you got rid of like 16 players off your books, you know, including Jesse Lingard, Pogba, and the list goes on. Yeah. I feel like now, especially if you get the right new owners, if you bring in 5 or 6 players of 10 hard players, you're already a problem. But imagine instead of Weghorst, you've got the likes of a Tony or somebody recognized striker on top of somebody that can play and partner with Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes. That's a big problem. That's a big problem. Because Rashford is firing, even getting some depth. The problem is if Rashford gets injured now, you're in trouble. Yeah,
exactly, big bro. Exactly. So that was my thing about the cotton wool. Like I said, I wouldn't even let him train at the moment. Just stay fit. A little bit of light work. You literally just say, okay, go over there with the coach. You're gonna do some tippy tappies, and I don't want you getting tackled. I don't want you hitting your ribs or nothing like that. Breaking finger or nothing like that.
I can see it written in Matt Tominay slide tackles him in training or something.
Right.
I can see it because Matt Tominay he's wired that way, isn't it? Matt Tominay is wired that way, bro.
He's chopping. Got 2 left feet. You know what I mean?
But you know how this stuff works. You know how this works.
Yeah.
It's almost like having a car, brand new car.
Yeah.
You're scared about crashing. So you drive so careful that you have an accident.
You have an accident.
Right? That you have an accident. So you kind of almost got to just keep doing the things that you do. And it's football at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Listen, I'm going to go to Normski's comment here. What a weekend for Arsenal to bounce back. So even though he's not here, we're going to address the Arsenal going to Aston Villa. Arsenal 4, Villa 2. Absolutely blinding the game. Yeah. And yeah, it was quite mad when they scored so quickly. It kind of felt like, wow, are these guys actually crumbling here? Because it was a weird one. It was like, yo, the game, it's like he just got going. I literally went out to get my tea, came back and it was 1-0. I said, rah, literally just 4-5 minutes in the kitchen, bam. But then you saw the back and forth, and then, obviously with those 2 late goals late on, and that shows that Arteta's got some character in him, a bit like Ten Hag. He's put some character back in that team where you think 2-2, you're dropping points again, you're opening the door back for City, and obviously no goal. But a lot of time the own goal is because you're pressing so well that the defenders have got no choice but to stick a boot at it, and hopefully it doesn't go. And so they were under the cosh, and they did 4-2. I'm sure Arteta's lost his mind in the changing room even after the 4-2 win, because the 93rd and the 98th minute to get those 2 goals to win the game is not what he said it here. Arsenal show champions mentality, and you remember, Scott, they haven't been champions for a long while, so that tells you that the manager has installed a little bit of bounceability, a bit of steel back into the mentality to say, listen, you've got 6 minutes of extra time, or in this case 8 minutes of extra time to win this game. I don't know where you got 8 minutes from, but yeah, you know what I mean, because Gabriel Martinelli was in the 98th minute. But yeah, I'm not sure you guys, because we had the Arsenal bounceability or luck, and I always say there's an element of luck when it comes to any sport. You get the rubber, the green, you get a VAR decision that was very much a 50-50. And so, yeah, like Arsenal have done themselves a huge favour there. I think if they drop the 2 points, I think they get a bit scrambled head-wise, you know what I mean? I think, you look at, because I think they've gone 3 games without a win. Is it 3 games?
Yeah, 2.
Yeah, 3 games without a win, and then
Man City and Everton.
I think they drew. I know, and they drew. No, they drew before that. They drew Brentford.
They drew 2.
Yeah, they drew Brentford before that. Remember?
Of course, it was 3. I forgot about Brentford.
So this would have been the 4th game without a win, and I think that starts to do something with you when you're top of the tree.
Well, they were on their way, weren't they? They were behind twice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, because I think all our teams have been in that position where you've been top of the tree, and then you drop 2 points somewhere where you knew you had no business going there and dropping the points. So, and I say that would have been the 4th game. So,
you know what? I'm going to take my opportunity while Normski's not here to defend himself.
Go on.
I'm starting to think this title will be tainted. Because,
wow,
you see, with the World Cup in the middle of the season, what's the chances that Liverpool, that finished 2nd last season, are nowhere near it? Chelsea's nowhere near it. Man City are nowhere. Well, they're not the City of old, drawing to Everton and drawing to Nottingham Forest. Yeah. I'm not sure if we can count the season as we would a normal 38 games. I'm going. Plus, if I didn't actually go to these matches, I'd think this is fixed football, because Jorginho has never hit a ball like that in his life. Never in his life. You can go on YouTube and look, and you will never ever see. He doesn't. In fact, there were times Jorginho will have a look at taking a shot and he go, "Nah, pass it." That's Jorginho. But in this match, he decides, I'm going to put my foot through this, and he scores a screamer like that, to get them back in the game, not just. Hey, Lowski, I'm saying what people are thinking, man. I'm just saying this title might be a little bit questionable at the end of it. A little asterisk next to this one.
a bit like Liverpool's COVID title. Or,
People are still talking about
that. Liverpool's COVID title. LeBron James's COVID title.
We got to March. Listen. We got to March and we literally had not lost the game to that.
I'm joking, man. You guys deserved it. That year Liverpool deserved it. To be fair.
Yeah. But Jason, you're right though, because if you've been to your stadiums and you feel you as a fan feel the pressure. So when they're on that pitch, looking around that stadium and just seeing eyes on them, 75,000 eyes on them, it's a huge difference to just having the camera crew there, just the camera crew and some officials. It's like there's no pressure here. And I saw how we played even as Man United in the empty stadium. But once that stadium got full again, and we started.
We brought the away records in the empty stadium.
Exactly, right? Yeah, exactly, Jason. And so you look at these things, Jason.
They're big
Jason, take out your mouth.
No, they're massive factors. I think they're big factors. We'll see at the end of the season.
And I think obviously, they've spoken about doing the World Cup that way again in the near future, having a World Cup at around Christmas time. For me, I think it hurt Arsenal a little bit because I think Arsenal's momentum was so mad before the World Cup, and then suddenly it's like yow, and so it just won your psyche. If you're not going to the World Cup, you kind of feel that you're left out. So there's that to deal with as well. Where you thought, well, I'm playing the best football of my career. It's the World Cup season. I don't get paid for the World. I'm watching my friends all pack their bags and go for their different countries. So all these factors came into a lot of players' mindsets coming back, and then coming back and just taking up the mantle again before Christmas. So, and then there was a few teams that went a week or two before they played, just because of how the fixtures worked out and stuff like that. So maybe there's an aspect, but then is that hard on Arsenal because Arsenal haven't won it for so long?
It's just me looking at ways that I can hate on them. But as a football fan before a Chelsea fan, Arsenal are playing some very, very good football. That's not deniable. Arteta's found some weaknesses in his team and made them strengths. For example, Xhaka, he's not leaving him to be the last man anymore to get them red cards. Instead, he's letting him be the technician that he is, higher up the pitch, leaving Partey, obviously not at the moment because he's injured, but Partey to do cleanups. He's now playing Zinchenko inverted to help protect Jorginho. All these little things, Arteta's getting more vocabulary and just dropping little things that's helping him get his team across the line. And now I think he's even recognizing how to win games not so clean and cute like he had to do against Aston Villa. It's not about tiki-taka. Sometimes go and find a way to get the ball in the net. And that's all going to help them be champions. I hope for Arsenal's sake they win the title, because if they don't, I have a lot of Arsenal fans in my phone that I will be calling one by one, because
and they're not going to pick up, bro.
What? No, because a lot of them have said they're going to win it. They're going to win it, and I listen. They've got a right to believe, but
you got to have trust with your team. Otherwise, what's the point? You got to have trust with your team. And I look at the Saka thing, and I think Saka is there, Rashford, and I say the same thing. I wouldn't have Saka training. Same thing.
No.
It's the certain manager that you got to say, listen, the way he lives for me, I got to protect him at all costs. And I think if he's smart, it'll work out something that Saka don't get a clumsy tackle by one of them donkeys that try to get in the first team. You know what I mean? So still a lot of pressure, still a lot to play for. But Arsenal are still in the driving seat. That's how I see that.
Yeah,
whether I like it or not, they're still in the driving seat. And for me, and like I said earlier, Jason, we got to get through this week, and hopefully we get through this week unscathed, because I think the league. I said this to my brother, and he had looked to me. I said they don't want Ten Hag to succeed, right? Because you have him playing Barcelona on Thursday and the cup final on Sunday. Come on, man. Where Newcastle got a whole week to chill before the cup final, and there's certain things the FA like this guy, because you have to remember when he first came in, Jason. He laid the law down to the media. The media tried to punk him and put him under necessary pressure. He just said, no. This is how the press conference is going to go. This is what I'm going to answer. This is what I'm going to tell you. This is what I'm doing. And I love that. And so I felt like, and I think that's been a level of this guy cannot succeed in his first season. I just feel like, because even the game they slotted in the other week, I was like, there's no need to rush and play that game. Knowing what we were doing. Yeah, the Crystal Palace.
Yeah. But why were we the only team in the league playing on that day? And
exactly.
we weren't the only team. We weren't the only team with games in hand.
Right? Because Liverpool had it in hand.
Why were the only team playing?
It's Eric Ten. I told him Heisenberg because he's cooking like the man from Breaking Bad. You know? So it's Eric Ten Heisenberg cooking for them, and he's put them in their place because he's a. You can see how they were saying. He say if we play at Old Trafford, he's there 5 hours before the game. 5 hours. That's the kind of machine this man. The man walks the stadium, walks onto the pitch, looks how the pitch is set up and all that. He does all these things before the man's even turn up for their warm up and their massages and all the rest, stretching. He's there, and that's the mentality of him. I'm sure his missus gets right annoyed with him because he literally is obsessed with football, which is his job. It's his job. But yeah, one of the fan channels who has access to Old Trafford, United, and they were saying he's there every home game 5 hours before kickoff. That's a mad one. And he's doing stuff. He's out and about. He's making sure that everything is in place for his team to perform. No excuses. And you have to love that, Jay. You gotta love that, bro.
I love this guy, man.
Yeah, man.
He was in a restaurant last night, wasn't he? Sitting down with the man himself, Ferguson. So
Alex. Oh, for real? Oh, yeah. On the radio. I wasn't sure what was going on there.
Yeah, they was in a restaurant last night, sitting down eating.
Wow, yeah, I mean, and I imagine there's a level of respect that he has for what Fergie did, and you know what I mean. If he comes in and does something in the first season, then you got to tip your hat to it and then get off his back. You know what I mean? Because I think every manager's been allowed to come in and try. You know, with the big clubs, have been allowed to come in and try and build something rather than the pressure that he's been under. And you know, like even the other day, they were still bringing up them first 2 games of the season. It's like they're dismissing what he's done since then. And I think this is how I know there's an agenda against this not to succeed. So, like I say, big week for us. And yeah, we have to react. And I hope these guys just like roll their sleeves up and play for him, because I think the way he's treated them, everyone's like, because even the other day when Harry came on for like 15 minutes, and Harry looked hype. He didn't actually look disappointed. He actually looked hyped. He obviously takes the armband, which always embarrasses me. But he's clapping, he's barking, all this, and I'm like, Harry Maguire, my lord. You know the ones. And it's not a guy that I want to see on the pitch starting for us. I'm not even going to pretend. But sometimes we know with the squad we've got that are starting, playing every 3 days. You know, you can't just. Even Lindelof, I thought Lindelof had a good game, Jason.
Second half, yeah.
Yeah, second half, yeah. He kind of figured it out. And I think that's just nervousness because he knows that he's not number 1 choice, but. Cup final.
A lot of these guys do, but they'll get games, like you say, because Varane can't play 2 games a week. Really, I think he'll play 2. Yes. I think he'll play twice this week. I think he'll play tomorrow, and I think he'll play Sunday.
Yeah, and here's another one that doesn't really need to train in that sense. He just needs to be stretched and massaged well, and so you want to go with that strong back 4. I mean, obviously they've lost Nick Pope. I think that's huge for them, actually, losing Nick Pope for the final. That was, like you say, a rush of blood to the head.
Is it true Nebraska can't play as well, right? Nebraska can't play as well, though, right? Yeah, you know the other goalkeeper, the one that we had.
Dubravka can't play.
Dubravka, yeah, he can't play either.
Captain.
Because he didn't play for us, Jason, in the cup.
Yeah, that's why he can't play. Yeah, that's why he can't play.
I think.
Oh, that's criminal. Right. That's criminal.
Yeah.
Yeah, he played for us, Jason.
Yeah,
he gave the night off. Oh my days, I forgot about that. That's scandalous, isn't it?
Hold on, let me see.
Yeah. All right. Well,
if I'm correct, Loris Karius, the old Liverpool keeper, is going to be involved.
Wow.
And if anyone knows, the Kofi's laughing for a reason, because that he's whatless. He's honestly very bad.
Wow.
That's their third keeper anyway, so I'm assuming it's him.
Well, happy days for United, isn't it?
Well, yeah, we hope so. I'm not going to count my chickens.
No,
but a cup fans a cup final, and you hope that these guys show up for what the guys trusted in them.
The last time Newcastle got to a cup final was what, 1999?
No way.
The FA Cup final against Manchester United, the treble season. I went to that game at Wembley, the 1999 Cup final.
1999 final. Wow.
And that was that's the last time they got to a final.
Now look, same thing.
Yeah. So just quickly, between Norm Ski, they're asking about your guy Potter. Scott's giving him 3 games. Norm Ski's asking how long. What are you giving him, Ez, if he doesn't win? If he doesn't win,
I personally can't talk for what the board will do. I'm still working out my owners a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this: if he doesn't win against Tottenham, he will lose a large majority, the majority of this fan base. He will.
Is that with a draw as well? I think
even a draw, because of the form that we've had, I think it's nothing but a win. If you had decent form before and was kind of on the fence about him, I think he could a draw will get him another few games before he loses the fan base. But I think he will lose a lot of the fans. The fans will be livid if he loses against Tottenham. We'll say again. What do you say?
No, I said that they named it 3 Point Lane. So if you go there, then
that's what
take them points in it.
Look. I think Potter really should be, really examined over the next 3 games. But I think after Tottenham, I would not be surprised or blame the board if they make a decision the next day.
Do you know who those next 3 games are for Spurs?
You mean for Chelsea?
Chelsea, sorry, yeah.
They're quite big games. I think Leeds, who've got a new manager now, and then Dortmund after that, which were already 1-0 down. This is the problem as well. We're losing to Dortmund. This is the thing. Oh, anyway,
you shouldn't have lost that game.
We should have lost that game, but I think even down to the fact that the way we lost was a tactical error. We left one man back after a corner. But
it's not his fault it's not his fault in the sense why you didn't score goals though.
No.
You had blatant chances in that game.
I can't blame him for not scoring goals. I think the question is what he's got to do to address it. What's going on with our finishing? Is it that bad? And then when I look at the players we've got, they know how to put balls in the net. They do. João Felix, Sterling, Havertz. Havertz still ain't the best, but he scored the Champions League final goal. He knows how to score goals. So what's going on? So I think he needs to give them the confidence to put the ball in that net. Same way Rashford weren't scoring goals last season. The coach has done something to get him scoring now. It's the same player.
Yeah.
So though it doesn't come down to the coach, it does in some sort of sense. Do you know what I mean? When it's a reoccurring theme.
But I just mean in that particular game, there were some sitters in that game.
Same against Southampton. Did you see Sterling?
I missed that.
Oh, you missed the highlights of that. Okay. Sterling missed on the line.
Yeah.
To the stage where
it's like he just you gotta look at and you have to wonder what's going on in training as well, is because it just feels like he's overwhelmed with that squad. That's what it looks like to me.
Now, listen, if he needs to sit down players,
sit them down.
Squad, sit them down. You play the same team 3 weeks in a row, 3 games in a row. Sorry, play the same team. See what happens. Then you slowly make your rotations. Then you could tell players, look, you've had your chance. You've had 3 games. You take a seat now, and that's how you. I'm not telling a man how to do a job, but do something that makes sense.
The thing, this is what we would do. We would sit with our coach and say, right, I am not tweaking this team again. This team's going to go out and we're going to give them 45 minutes and see what is what. You just can't keep picking a brand new team every week And you say,
it doesn't help
well,
that he's got
he
5
didn't
subs
play.
now. It doesn't help that he's got 5 subs now, because the 5 subs he chooses literally is like another team. It's a bit like pre-season. You know, when you see the whole squad go up and a new squad come on, you know, at half time. That's how it feels.
And the thing is, I was never for this 5 thing. I thought it was going to ruin the game a little bit. And it only benefits the big clubs.
Yeah.
It only benefits the bigger clubs. The smaller clubs can't, you know, they're looking down the bench going, well.
But you know what? The thing is, Potter's never going to ever know his best squad. Like, he's got such an array of talented players.
He needs to do himself a favour and go and when Conte sits down, which some Conte will, go to Tottenham and he'll be fine there. He will cook at Tottenham. He'll be fine there. He's got time. They're not on him. They'll let him build something. I think Tottenham will even see Potter more as an exciting coach than Conte is. They'll appreciate him. He can build. He could take 18 months to build there.
You know, you should do is I was listening to Talk Sport yesterday, and a few Liverpool fans were phoning in saying sack Klopp. I was thinking these guys are crazy.
That's crazy.
If they sack Klopp, you'll take him in a heartbeat, mate. You'll take it in a heartbeat. Mate.
Hey, look, respect to Liverpool fans, Kofi, Jay, everyone else, love you guys. But when a manager has the body of work in recent times, we're not talking about stuff he done 5 years ago, 6 years. He's won you 2 cups last season. He won you the Premier League that he ain't won in 30 years, a couple of seasons ago. He won the Champions League. Just all the list in the last 3-4 years. What on earth are we talking about Klopp out? He's earned time. He's earned time. He's got the body of work.
Yeah, I said weeks ago. He's one of the few managers that's got credit in bank.
100%. If he's doing badly now, even if you don't get Champions League, he's got all the time to say, you know what, Gaffer, I trust you to sort it out. That's what I expect from Liverpool fans. You've done enough recent times to sort it out.
Yeah, you simply have to back him in the summer and get his midfield. Obviously, you're gonna have to strengthen at the back now.
Yeah, but in saying that, it's like the boards. Now they've said the club is not up for sale, and you know, how does he then trust them to give him some funding so that he can get the midfield that he wants? Because he's then going to be talking.
They're looking at investment, like Kofi. They're looking at investment rather than selling.
Yeah. But then he's then going to be talking again with excuses, saying, "Oh, well, I have to work with what I've got," and you know, how long is he going to keep going on saying those things in the forthcoming seasons?
Right. Well, I mean, hopefully the investment is for him to strengthen the squad, because you know I know in recent times that Liverpool had extended Anfield with that new tier and things like that. But I think if they're not selling, and it was on the schedule as you saw, any of the business Liverpool, so we're already clean segue into that. I feel like if they're not selling, then the investment money has to go to Klopp to strengthen that team. He needs 5 players at least, 6 if he's being cheeky.
Yeah, that whole midfield needs a turnaround complete.
Attacking wise, I think you're good. I think you got enough attackers in that squad to even for when you get injuries. I think the midfield, and what you got with Virgil van Disney there, because I feel sorry for Virgil. I think that injury done him dirty. The injury wasn't his fault, but he's not been the same player since that injury.
But you know what? Credit to Virgil, because he played the whole of last season without any break. And you know, for him to have a season-long injury and then come back the following season, play the whole season. Like other players were having injuries, breaks, but he played the whole season and he still went to the World Cup and come back, and he's only had one niggly injury which kept him out for the last couple of weeks. So, you know, you've got to give credit to him.
Yeah, you hear what Scott said there? He said, will he be given 300 million? He said he deserves to be given a chance to rebuild. Because, like Jay said, he has got credit in the bank. You can't overlook what Ez said, what he's done. And you have to remember how poor you were when he came in as well.
That's terrible.
Yeah, for fans to be on TalkSport chatting about sack Klopp.
No.
Stop that.
That's not good.
And get who? Diego Simeone. Come on, man. Seriously. You know, there's not a lot out there that you would want. I mean, Thomas Tuchel, maybe? I don't know.
It may be Poch.
To Liverpool.
Yeah. He'll go.
Some of these managers, I just don't. When they were talking about Poch and Man United, no, thank you. Conte, no, thank you. That's why I even say when you talk about Mourinho back to Chelsea, I just don't get it, because in 3-4 months' time, Chelsea fans would be crying their eyes out that they're bored of watching their own team play football. Because that's what happens everywhere he goes. You get bored of watching your own team because it's so boring.
Yeah.
Chelsea fans hated when he was there the last time.
Yeah, if you imagine him with that squad now, if you imagine him with all them players as well, that would be just, And he still moan. He would still moan about something. He still say, yeah, but I need this. You're like, well, bro, you got a 40-man squad there or whatever it is.
The thing is, that's the thing at Chelsea, though. He never moaned about what he needed. We gave him what he needed. It's other teams where maybe they didn't have the same ability to just reach in their bank account, and there you go. Which
no. There was a time when the checkbook dried up, mate, and Abramovich told him he weren't going to sign us, whoever it was. I can't remember the player. And the first time he got sacked was because he couldn't shut his mouth about it.
I remember something to do with him falling out of Abramovich. I didn't know the context.
It's all about a player. It's about a player he wanted.
He came back. Abramovich was good enough to swallow his pride, and he came back and he won the league. But he was back to it. He got Diego Costa, he got Fabregas, and he won the league very same season. I think he even brought Drogba back bizarrely and won the league again. But I feel like, I don't know, with Chelsea, if they're on this project thing, at the moment, a nicey coach ain't going to get it. It's just not going to happen. Too many youngsters that still need to understand the depth of football. And, there's no privilege in it. But everyone's got a different approach. There's a different...
But if you're trying to build a culture, so if Chelsea is signing players for a certain culture and style of play, Jose is not the manager to bring in.
Because, I agree.
Because especially with the type of players that you're bringing in as well, I just can't see Jose working back at Chelsea. No, I'd find it funny if he came back, so I'd love it.
I think I would maybe be in a bit of nostalgia. Maybe that's where it is. But I think he's got more to him than Potter will ever have. And you know what? Look,
it's levels, isn't it?
On here, I will say it. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I am. I hope Potter comes out, and in a few months, I'm talking about, wow, he's really turned the corner. Can I see it? No, but that's me. What do I know? But I just don't see it. I watch Chelsea week in, week out, and I haven't seen it.
90% of the Arsenal, 90% of Arsenal fans were saying the same thing you're saying 18 months ago. A year ago.
I think they were frustrated because they weren't getting results. But none of them can say they can't see what Arteta was trying to do. I don't think that was the case. When we think about it, Arteta was trying to implement this same football from day one. Did he have the likes of Gabriel Jesus at the time? Did he have Saka playing at this level? Then did he have the likes of, what's his name? Zinchenko, Saliba, all these players that have now come in. What's his name? Odegaard. Oh my Lord. These guys that are now playing instead of, Rob Holding and Mari, and what's his name? What would he have Cedric at right back or something? I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, some madness, didn't he, to be fair?
Yeah, Callum Chambers was still in this club. El Neni, then one were relying on him every week. Xhaka getting red cards because he was out of, Xhaka was playing left back at some point. It was crazy. So I get what you're saying, Jay. But yeah, I feel like we could always see what he's trying to implement.
Yeah.
Kind of.
So quickly, guys, we're gonna go on to the ref watch, which was I think Norman sent the Sky Sports thing. Dermot Gallagher discusses Man United's Marcel Sabitzer's challenge on what were Tottenham handball. Nick Pope sending off. I think every week we talk about what the ref sees, what the VAR doesn't or does help him out with, and it feels like an agenda. I mean, the Sabitzer one felt like it was very much a it was nothing because it was a late tackle, but he actually probably just only scraped him. It wasn't like he came through him. People said we should have walked for that.
He pulled out. He pulled
Yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah. Pulled out. Yeah,
I didn't think that.
But if you look at the still, the still shot looks horrendous. And that's what they always do. They never go to the video. They go to a still picture and say, put him on a cross for that, or the referee bottled it. For me, that was nothing for me. The Nick Pope sending off. Now, I miss what he did for the sending off. I don't know why he got sent off. I missed that.
It was a sending off. It was a sending off. He was the last man. He came charging out of his goal.
Right, just took it out.
And he saved the ball with his hand.
It's insanity. Yeah. He tried to header it, Jay.
He tried to. It was crazy. Whatever he was doing was a madness. Yeah. Way out of his area. Way out of his area.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he had cover. That was the thing.
Was it? And he probably didn't even realize he had cover.
Yeah.
Did he have cover?
Yeah. There was one guy who was like just a little bit ahead of Salah, and it was kind of like he still had a little bit of a chance to set himself for whatever was going to happen. So
right.
Yeah.
Right, I hear that. So yeah, Jason. I know you got to go, my friend. Great as always.
See you guys,
I'm sure
man.
Nomsky appreciates that, and we will see you again, Jason. You know that already.
No worries, man. Definitely, guys, man. Take care. Have a good show.
Look after, bro. Yeah.
So if I'm right, you don't have a match this week, do you, D?
No, because of the cup final. So what we do, we have the Barcelona game tomorrow, and then the cup final on Sunday. Yeah. Cool. So this league has got their foot on our neck, man. You know what I mean? There's no way you should be playing Barcelona in midweek and going into a cup final when that team you're playing has a whole week to rest. That's ridiculous.
The problem is Europa, they don't care. They really don't care. I remember when Arsenal was meant to have a game rescheduled because of the Queen, and they didn't Europa didn't business, you know. So and everyone else got a break
because it's Thursday night football. They could have moved it to Wednesday, but then Wednesday's all about the Champions League. So
I think the FA have the prerogative to put this game on another point. They do. They could have rescheduled next week's games for you guys. And
we played the cup final a week on Sunday rather than Sunday coming. But
the FA could have done more. You know, if Europe are being stubborn, the FA could have said, you know, all right, then we'll do the right thing. You know. Yeah. But let's see if Ten Hag can, you know, get a result on both. That'll be big.
Oh yeah. Like I say, I think a defining week, and like Jason said, you know, a little bit nervous, like any of these games. But
I think the occasion will get to Newcastle, man.
Yeah. And their fans are so passionate, you know.
Yes.
The Newcastle fans, you know. I remember watching an interview with a guy that, when he was playing for Newcastle, he said that you couldn't go out for dinner in Newcastle. You had to go to Sunderland or somewhere else to go and eat, or go even drive down to Manchester to go out, because he said that when you play for them, it's a goldfish bowl. Like, everyone wants a selfie. People are coming to talk to you while you're eating. He said you get no peace when you. That's how obsessed it is. And I've been to St. James's, and St. James's is bang in the middle of Newcastle town centre, or city centre, sorry. It's like you get off the train and it's there. You're like, rah, you not built a stadium. You built your city centre around the stadium. That's how obsessed it is. If you ever go there and see it, you'll be like, that's mad. I was with my missus and we said, I've never seen anything like this, where they literally built the city centre around the stadium. That's how obsessed they are with football. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a game of energy, and obviously with the fans, you know, these guys are going to try and out-sing us and all the rest of it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like Jason said, you've got to be happy that you've got to any final from what our last 5 years have been, which have been pretty much just abysmal. To get to a final and you know, get a day out of Wembley. I mean, I looked at tickets, Golders, like everywhere I'm looking, and just coming up blank. You know what I mean? It's like, I think you have to know somebody to get a ticket.
Yeah, good ones.
You know, the ones. Yeah. So I'll be on the big screen. That's what I can say. Yeah, we are winding down. We are looking at what's going on predictions game week 23. I think when I spoke to Nomsky, I think Nomsky was the only one that scored in the last game weeks, and whether he got the prediction of the win right. There we go. It's coming up now. Here we go.
Wow.
Oh, Nomsky's leapfrogged you, Cove. What's going on, bro?
Did he get the right result?
Relegation.
Did he get the right result, or did he get the right score?
Yeah, he got the right.
I think he got the result rather than the score.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because he's got a blue, hasn't he? He's got a blue.
The one
So
before
he got
the right score.
Yeah, he got the green with the right score. So he got the right result, not the right score. And then, as you can see, the rest of us all redlined. We all got it horribly.
Yeah, the Man City one did me like a kipper, man.
Oh,
I thought that was 3 points all the way to the bank.
In my mind, I'm like, I'm like you. I was like, they're going to Forest. Forest is not offering much at all. And then and I suppose it's maybe it's the survival mentality now, where Forest know they're going to start picking up some draws here and there to maybe save their Premier League career, as it were. And so I look at that and I say, wow, didn't see that one. That was a proper blindside for me when I saw the result come through, because I was in London. I was down in the south, so I'm kind of checking my phone just going off, my watch is going off, and my phone's going off, and I'm seeing stuff coming in, and I'm with some friends. Like, what's with you on the phone? I said, man, the football is all coming in at me, and I'm trying to be so
funny game, bro. It's a funny game, man.
Yeah,
I was just sitting there shocked as anything.
Yeah. So we are looking at so game week 20. It's going to be our 24 rather than 25, but game week 25 in the league, but game week 24 for us. So these are for predictions. We've got Fulham at Craven Cottage on the Friday night. It's a Friday night game, 8 kickoff. We have got obviously Newcastle and Brighton is postponed. Newcastle in the cup final. We have Everton at home to Villa. Huge game for Everton. Trying to stay at that horrible drop. We have Leeds at home at Ellen Road to Southampton. That's a 3 o'clock kickoff. We have Arsenal travelling to Leicester King Power. Now Leicester have become a bit of a handful, as we found out last weekend. So I think that's a tough game for Arsenal, but we'll see. We have Olympic Stadium, West Ham at home to Forest. Both of these guys in a dogfight. This is a 6-pointer for me. As in, no team can afford to lose that one. We have at the Gold Stand Stadium, we have Bournemouth hosting Man City at 5:30 on Saturday. Man City go there and drop points. I'll be twisted up. I'm not even going to pretend. But I think Man City know that they've got to do a job there. Man City, Bournemouth. So I don't know if you're tempted there. Scott saying 4-0. Yeah, put in the chat predictions, guys. In the chat for your teams. Scott saying 4-0. Arsenal going away. That's ambitious, Scott. Going away to the King Power. Love that. Love that confidence. Poor Bournemouth. Yeah, Bournemouth should be in for hiding to nothing, because I think Man City are going to be really brooding from what went down last weekend. Oh, wow. This is weird. So you guys, Kofi, are playing at 7:45 on Saturday. You're away to Palace.
That's the real one.
7:45. Wow.
7:45 in the evening. That's shocking. At Sadler's Park. Yeah. Maybe because of the cup finals. Because only Tottenham are playing. So Tottenham on Sunday have a 1:30 against your boys' Ayers before the cup final. And then the cup final is at 4:30. So to squeeze that Liverpool game, a late one. I mean, it gives you all Saturday to kind of chill before the game. To be fair, 2-2s.
Yeah, but I don't know whether Liverpool are going to be up for it like that.
Yeah,
that's the thing. It's one of those like 7:45. Who plays games like that?
I know.
I think a few things could happen.
They've
got time to see what happens to the rest of the table. with other results, and I think that could actually motivate you to go and make sure you get a result.
Right.
It's happened before where you get to see what happens, and then you know what's at stake compared to when there's 3:00 games and you don't know what's happening in other games.
Yeah. I get
isn't
you.
quite playing in mind the same way as if a team that you're trying to get above has won. You now know you by all means necessary, you have to treat it like a cup final.
Right.
So that's my take on playing late. It's a little bit of an advantage, if you like, because you get to see what's happening elsewhere. It's another perspective, maybe not everyone don't see it that way, but
right. So Nomsky just confirmed this is for our prediction table. This is game week. This is game week 23. He's already got his prediction in. He's gone 3-0 City.
See that?
Yeah, Nomsky. Yeah, man, that's funny, bro. I love that. Because it's normally me that pulls that stunt. You know what I'm
Hold on, didn't he choose his own team the other week or?
Yeah, I think,
no.
I'm not sure, but he's already got his one in, so he's gone 3-0 to City, and City they're away to Bournemouth, but I don't think that matters. But Lukonga to score, I love that. Scott got jokes, yeah, man. So guys, if you get your predictions into the chat for next week, there's some tricky ones, to be fair. I'm just scrolling through now. I'm like, there's some hard ones to call here. Obviously, the Newcastle.
They're big. I've just had a look. There are some hard ones.
Yeah. I mean, I expect Arsenal to go to Leicester and handle that. But this is football, man. And then I think, like I say, for me, the West Ham Forest game is a huge game. Like I said, neither of these two now can afford to drop in sloppy points to the teams that are around them. And I think, so to see that. So we have as in for predictions, Spurs at home to Chelsea, Palace at home to what's it? Need to stay above Kofi. And then we have obviously Man City away to Bournemouth. The West Ham Forest. Yeah, so we got a few games to pick out there, Jen. So when you get a moment to put them into the chat. And I think we are good, gents. I think we've gone through that. I was very apprehensive doing this because I've never kind of done this before. I appreciate a little faith with me. We were trying to go through the system yesterday, and we were just trying to figure out how to get Peter be able to host, and then he said I'll do some background stuff for you because he made transferring all this stuff to me, which was a bit mad. Like in Zoom, you can do it different. You can just say you make that person the host, and then we can do the back room. Yeah, it's a bit different on this particular thing there. I appreciate that, Normski. Appreciate that, bro. Everyone in the chat, really appreciate you guys. The love shown for Norman and his family. I know he appreciates that. In this tough season, if you've ever lost a father, like I lost a father and a father-in-law, and boy, I know what he's going through. Especially when you have a good relationship with your dad. When your dad goes, it's just it's a different thing. It's a different feeling, man. So just much love for that, and like I say, appreciate the guys in the chat for keeping us busy. I know I may have missed a few, so I do apologize if any I missed because they were coming a little bit and we're tour. You know how it is. But yeah, man. Thank you for support as always, and
always.
Next week, we're gonna try and figure it out again for next week because they have something for Norman's dad, so we're gonna see how we can, do that. So we'll I'm sure Norman will put out. If we're not gonna do it, he'll put something out. Ez is in there, 2-1 Forest, nice one is, and so so thank you very much, and like, share. Let's get the algorithms going for North, let him get a bigger community and grow this platform. That's what we're here for.
That's right.
And like I say, this is our opinions. We're not experts. This is us having our opinions on the team, a bit of banter, a bit of laugh, and a bit of seriousness because we all want our teams to succeed. And so we got bragging rights and can wear these shirts with pride and all the rest of it. So yeah, man. Thank you very much. Have a great evening, and we will see you next week. Take care for now, guys.
See you guys.